find your answer. And if you can find, you can write those questions and you'll be getting answers through that. There are like 20,000 people who are going to be submitting their answers and things like that. And then what we do is every month or something, we'll have a webinar focused on a particular topic that will help you towards the match process. And then this year actually, we started the biggest mentorship program, and now this year we, I think, helped about 850 applicants from Pakistan who are applying in the match, and they were connected to their mentors. The other thing we are doing is observerships. We have arranged over 300 observerships last year, and so on and so forth. So that's what we are doing, and we are also trying to establish more stronger LUMHS alumni. And this is one of the proof that we have, that today we have like about 10 alumni from LUMHS who have came especially here, and I can see many of them have reached out already. So that's something. And then take-home message, food for thought is USMLE pathway, even though it remains open, but obviously nothing is guaranteed. The chances of match is about 50%. So even you do all that you have done, still the chances are about 55% or something like that. So nothing is guaranteed, but still you got to try. You won't know until you won't try, right? So always consider a backup plan. Many students these days I've seen, they're not doing the house job. I'm always against that. I would always have a backup plan, but that's your personal choice. But as we would recommend that you always do a house job, because eventually if you do not match, you should have something, and then you come back house job, and then you do your residency. I've seen at least last year from LUMHS alone, there were at least 5 applicants who matched into fellowship because they have the home country residency, right? So that's another important factor. And if you have a home country residency, that also helps you towards the residency match, if not fellowship match. But fellowship match, I hardly know anyone who had the home country residency and they did not get into fellowship. So it is very doable. This is something what we call reverse pathway, that you start with the fellowship in US and then you kind of go back and do the residency again. If you have completed the residency in this country, you can also get a 1-year exemption. That's another thing, but later on you can think about it. Your dream should be to practice medicine. Dream should not be that I'm going to go to US now, I just want to do anything but US. I mean, that's one dream to have, but now you're physicians, right? So you spent all these years and all this money to become a doctor, so your dream is still should be to become a physician, regardless if it's in the US or elsewhere in the world. Still, the physicians, they are doing pretty well in Pakistan. It's a good country to practice medicine, but yeah, the dream should be different. This is again our point of view, but you can obviously. And do not drain your life savings. We get these multiple messages that, we used our dad's pension and this and that. Now, this is again a personal choice, but see, you got to consider the chances. So, but still don't give up. Lastly, I would like to mention 2 things in the end is mentorship is going to be key to your success. So that's going to be very important, and do not hesitate to reach out to people. The worst thing is going to happen is you may not get a reply, but that's it. Reach out to other people. You got to be very careful, and you got to be very decent and very professional. Last thing is that we have established Lumana loan program that we started I think 2 years ago. So far, 3 years ago, sorry. So far we have given loans to, I think in last 3 years we have given loan to 18 or somewhere in that range. Yeah. And this time I would also like to announce that this year we are going to announce a scholarship of $1,000 each. We are going to be giving 5 scholarships. And we'll set up the criteria, which we'll soon share with you guys. But the last vector is that we will announce 5 scholarships, $1,000 per kid. And I have Dr. Ambar Kazi who supported 2 of them, and then we have Dr. Murtaza Arain who supported 1, and then so on and so far. So that's something. So I'll end here, and I would like to now welcome our Appna team. The delegation has got here. So please give them a big round of applause. Welcome, everyone. So I think we'll conclude this session, not this session, we'll continue, and I'll invite Dr. Saad Yassin in a little bit, but let's just give them a few minutes to, settle down, and then we will carry on this session, and after that we'll have a break. Again, welcome everyone. We are delighted to have you all. Thank you for coming to Hyderabad. Joseph bhai, nice to see you again. Fazal bhai, good to see you. So once they settle down, the next about 15 minutes, we'll invite another speaker. This is going to be another very important session. This is about pathway to Canada. Now, this is not just USMLE. We also wanted to include something else. So we have a speaker, Dr. Saad Yassin, who came all the way from Canada, and to again talk about the pathway to Canada. So can we put his PowerPoint, please? Dr. Saad Yassin. You'll be needing headgear. Headgear? You'll be needing headgear or a hand mic? Mic सही है. अच्छा ठीक है. मतलब उसमें हो जाए headgear पे. Headgear आए. वो कर पे ना ये. ठीक है. So Dr. Saad Yassin, everyone, please give him a big round of applause. Thank you. इसको नीचे कैसे कर? हाँ इसको छोटा कर. That's better. Okay. ठीक है. ठीक.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Saad Yassin. I'm a family physician. I'm a graduate from Sindh Medical College. I completed my family medicine training from UK and currently I'm practicing in Toronto. And I'm a faculty member of McMaster University as an assistant clinical professor in the Department of Family Medicine. I'm also have been a member of, lifetime member of Appna and currently a co-chair of YPC Canada committee. So today I am going to talk about family medicine scope in Canada. Family medicine is the backbone of any healthcare system. To have a successful healthcare system in a country, we must have a good family medicine system. Majority of the cases, a family doctor should be able to deal in the office. As long as we have a structured family medicine training in a country, there are opportunities for international medical graduates. Canada offers international medical graduates, family medicine specialists to come and practice independently, and I'm just going to go through this pathway. The pathway I'm talking about is called Practice Readiness Assessment Programs. It is an accelerated pathway to licensure for international medical graduates who are already completed their residency program and practice independently in outside of Canada. Each program offers a clinical workplace-based assessment over a 12-week period. During this assessment, all the applicants practice under the supervision of trained physician assessors to demonstrate their readiness to work in Canadian healthcare system and to provide a safe and high-quality patient care. So these are the requirements for family medicine practice specialists to work in Canada. You must be legally entitled to live and work in Canada. Now, there are different ways you can go and work legally in Canada. One is, which is the most popular one, is the Express Entry Program, and the physicians has they usually score very high points, so this shouldn't be a problem. There are work permits. If you have offered a job, the sponsors apply for work permit on their behalf, and then they can sponsor you. You must complete medical degree listed in the World Directory of Medical Schools. And you must have passed the English language testing system, such as IELTS or CELPIP. You must score at least 7 in each category in IELTS within the same sitting. And these scores are valid for 2 years. You must have passed the MCCQE1, which is a Medical Council of Canada qualifying examination, and NACOSCI, which is the structured station-based oral exams. And you must have had 2 years of postgraduate training in family medicine or general practice. Now, we are fortunate to have these structured programs in Pakistan. I know there are 2 faculties in Sindh that are offering these structured programs, including Ziauddin and Dow Medical University. These structured programs must be approved by university-affiliated programs. As I mentioned, there are only 2 currently. And I was talking to Dr. Benafsha, and I was very pleased to hear that LUMHS is also offering some sort of a diploma program in family medicine at the moment. And we were talking about how we can furthering this diploma into a structured family medical program, which is accredited and approved outside Pakistan. Now, there are some variants in the requirement in different provinces in Canada. As I mentioned, there are 9 provinces that are running their independent PRA programs. In Ontario, they are looking for 2 years of structured family medicine training, which is offered in Ziauddin Actis. Now, this independent practice has to be unsupervised, and this should not be an observation or fellowship program. They also offer 1 year of a structured family medicine training program, but also require you to have 3 years of independent practice. So these are the core rotations that they're looking for a structured family medicine program. The minimum of 8 weeks in family medicine or general practice, minimum of 4 weeks in emergency medicine, general surgery, internal medicine, obstetrics and gynecology, pediatrics, and psychiatry. The next thing is the currency of practice, which is the most important thing. There shouldn't be any gap in your practice, which is the independent practice, as I was talking about. And they say it's at least 3 months or 4 months of independent practice within the last 3 years when you're applying for these programs. And this also varies in different provinces. Some allow you to have one year in the last 3 years, or some allow only 3 months. In Alberta, there is a similar program, but they're looking for 16 weeks of family medicine or general practice experience, and 8 weeks in 3 of the following specialties, which is general surgery, internal medicine, obstetrics and gynecology, and pediatrics. As I mentioned, they're looking for 1 year at least for you to be practiced independently in the preceding 3 years when you're applying. Similarly, in BC, which is British Columbia, they're looking for rotation similar to Alberta, but also they're also looking for 24 months of postgraduate training, independent practice. One thing that I must mention there is in Alberta, they require 2 years of continuous postgraduate training, and they do not require a independent practice. So that's the only province that I know that if you have 2 years of a structured program training for family medicine, you can actually apply for the program without any independent practice. In Nova Scotia, they're looking for 24 months of continuous postgraduate training and 8 weeks of family medicine or general practice, internal medicine, surgery, pediatrics, psychiatry, obs and gynae, and emergency medicine. They're looking for independent practice for 24 months after these postgraduate training. And they're looking for 960 hours of independent practice in the preceding 3 years. And the last in Saskatchewan, they're also looking for 24 months of continuous postgraduate training and 8 weeks of general practice, pediatrics, internal medicine and obstetrics, gynecology, and psychiatry. Again, they're looking for 24 months of postgraduate training and 36 months if the structured family medicine training is less than 12 months. So there are provinces where they're accepting 12 months of training, but they're actually increasing the independent practice postgraduate training. And they're looking for 3 months of independent practice in preceding 3 years. So as I mentioned, there are the 4 approved training institutions in Pakistan where you can actually achieve this structured 1 or 2 years of postgraduate family medicine diploma. Fatma Memorial Hospital in Punjab, Shifa International Hospital in Punjab, and Ziauddin Medical College and Dow Medical in Sindh. So what is the process? Phase 1 includes the program administrators determine your eligibility of applicants. This includes a review of your medical certificates and qualifications, postgraduate training and rotations, and hours of independent practice. Applicants will then be moved to a second phase. In the second phase, the eligible applicants who are also chosen to proceed submit evidence of certain requirements, write the therapeutic decision-making exam. They will have an interview and apply for the restricted license through the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario, and of course in other provinces. Reaching the second phase does not guarantee being selected to enter into the program. So phase 3 is selected candidates complete a program orientation followed by 2 weeks of clinical field assessment. So candidates who successfully complete their clinical field assessment will be required to enter a 3-year agreement with the Ministry of Health and complete any other required licensure applicable to their province. So this is mainly the family medicine pathway in Canada, which seems very straightforward, and we have the resources in Pakistan to complete the whole process. And if you plan after graduation, it takes about 3 years to 4 years time to complete the whole process, and you should be independently practice in Canada without requiring you to go into the residency program. There is an alternate program to go into Canada, which is called the Clinical Fellowship Program in Family Medicine. This is a short-term educational opportunity for physicians to gain advanced training and specialized expertise. Clinical fellows are postgraduate trainees who have already completed their residency training and obtain specialty certifications. The applicants must be recognized as a medical specialist or family physician in their jurisdiction. And during this clinical fellowship, this does not count towards the registration for a specialty program or a family medicine program. Most applications are free, but there may be some fee if you apply through the central portal. There are benefits to this clinical fellowship program. The clinical fellowship program experience can help you land a job in US or Canada, or even you can apply for permanent residency. And then just to very briefly mention about some of the specialty programs in Canada, similar to family medicine program. I have seen in Alberta, there are graduates from Pakistan. They're practicing in internal medicine, psychiatry, obs and gynae, and pediatrics. The Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Canada can actually process that application if you write a letter to them and write your eligibility, and they will let you know what's the program and if there is any additional requirement you'll have to fulfill. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yassin. This is the first time I've actually heard about Pathway to Canada, and obviously this is a good start, and we can have such sessions again later on. So at this time, I think we'll just take a break, and then as the guests have also arrived, we'll take a tea break. But before that, I just kind of want to conclude this, what we call the YPC, the Young Physicians Committee session. This was obviously focused mostly on the students, and we wanted to give you just the overview of how was the match processes and how things work out. So bottom line again is, build, no before, no sooner than later, build your connections, be very proactive, and when I was applying in 2005, like I said, when graduated in 2005, I hardly know 3 people from LUMHS who were doing residency. And by the time I got to US and eventually we get to know more, I do want to share one slide. It's a very important one. Can you put the presentation back? Last 2 years, I'll just show you 2 pictures of last 2 years or 3 years, how the data now has becoming, and from LUMHS alone, right? So we have seen increasing numbers of LUMHS graduates who are matching now as compared to how it was like 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. So, again, go ahead. So these are the LUMHS graduates who matched this year, right? So we have a decent number of graduates as compared to how it was. And then you have, I think this is the last year. So last year batch was bigger, this year was smaller, but it's still, so every year there are more and more people who are applying and more people who are matching. So this is a good start. So, and again, we don't want you to just leave the country. If you're gonna apply, do the things correctly. Again, through the Appna and through the YPC, we are giving you the opportunities which were never there before when we were applying. So if I can make it, most of you and all of you can easily make it because you have way more resources than what we had back in our day. It's very easy to reach out to Appna YPC, and that's about it. You'll get all the resources. And I would like to now, in the end, thank the Appna leadership. We'll have the president, Dr. Asif, and Dr. Rizwan Naeem joining us soon. And but before going to break, I would just like to acknowledge all the members who have come now. Dr. Joseph Emmanuel, we have here. Dr. Saeed Sabir, who is the chair of the winter meeting, was here. Dr. Fazal Mahmood, he is a LUMHS graduate. He is here. We have Dr. Mujib Shad. He is also a program director of the psych, and he's going to be leading the CME, and he's the chair of CME committee. We have Dr. Farooq Sheikh. He's from Dow, but he's also from Hyderabad, so it's good to see him. Dr. Zishan, who is a psychiatrist, and he's going to be continuing with the CME session. We'll start with him. We have Dr. Arif Muslim, very nice to see you. Dr. Murtaza Arai is also a LUMHS graduate. He's also here. Dr. Gulrez, you already heard, and Rahil Mehman. We have Dr. Ambar Qazi, again here. She's also a LUMHS graduate, and Dr. Farah Abbasi. And lastly, Dr. Zain. He also joined. He's also a LUMHS graduate. So good to have you all. And let's continue with the tea. And everyone is invited. And then we'll continue with the CME sessions after the tea break. So thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate it.
All dignitaries. You all are requested to come back for the CME session after tea break. There is 15 minutes tea break for all the Appna delegates, guests, faculty, and students. Please go out and have tea and then come back for the second session, that is CME.